Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope it's a beautiful day so far, or whatever day you decide to tune in. So, the story that I'm going to share for you today is from a non-denominational religious book posting called Guideposts. And this particular story was written by Catherine Neary Comier. The title of this story is How These Shells Became a Coincidental Sign from Above. These special beach tokens reminded her of love and second chances. The sun was just beginning to rise over the horizon, painting the water red and gold. I smiled, squeezing Steve's hand in mine. The scene was breathtaking. Watching the sunrise on the beach was the perfect way to start our honeymoon, our second honeymoon. Steve and I had been together for 24 years before we separated. At that point, divorce had seemed the only solution to resolving our differences, though not everyone in my life felt that way. "I know that you two will get back together," one of my friends had said after the divorce papers were signed. "That will never happen," I scoffed. Well, never say never. 3 years after the divorce, our children wanted to throw me a big party for my 50th birthday. Of course, they wanted to invite their father. I agreed. The split had been amicable, after all, but I surprised myself with how much I enjoyed his company at the party. I realized how right we seemed together, how much I'd missed him, how much I still loved him. We started seeing each other more frequently, spending time together, just talking freely without old hurts and defensiveness getting in the way. After some deep soul searching and prayer, we decided to give us another shot. We remarried in a small ceremony with only our grown children in attendance. Afterwards, Steve and I took off to our favorite spot, Cape May, New Jersey. We had vacationed there with our family going back 20 years. It felt like a return to old times, but different too. As the sun rose on our first full day, I prayed that Steve and I would get everything right this time, and for good. We walked along the shoreline, our feet in the water. We weren't walking for long when I spotted something in the sand, just out of reach of the waves. It was a seashell, a whelk with a shiny, smooth interior. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen on this beach before. I was used to finding clam, oyster, and mussel shells in the past. Nothing this big. And the shell was perfect, no chips or imperfections. "Look," cried Steve, pointing just a few feet away was another whelk shell. Like the first, it was whole and unblemished, but a little smaller and pinkish in color, in contrast to the other shell, which was larger and darker. But they seemed like they belonged together, a perfect match. We took them back to our room, amazed at our find. The next morning, we got up early and hurried out to the beach to catch the sunrise again. "What if we find more shells today?" Steve asked, teasing. I laughed. "That will never happen." Well, never say never. We strolled in the opposite direction that morning, toward the cove. The early morning sun was warming our backs. We had been walking for only a few minutes when I saw them up ahead. I blinked in disbelief. 2 perfectly formed whelk shells. As we got closer, I could see that they closely resembled the pair we had found the day before. One larger and dark in color, and the other smaller and pinkish, yet a few feet apart. I stood there stunned. The probability that they were there in the first place, that Steve and I had been the beachcombers who found them, 2 sets of shells, on the honeymoon of our second marriage was, well, infinitesimal. Never heard that word before. But I don't believe in coincidences. I know that it was a sign that Steve and I were on the right track. And whenever I look at the whelk shells that sit in our happy home, I'm reminded of love and second chances, and to never say never. I'm going to say a short prayer. Dear God, help us to be open to miraculous existence of second chances in our world, for forgiveness, and openly welcoming back with loving arms any kind of situation, ready to reunite and begin again and flourish in love, whether it be a marriage or a friendship or even your relationship with God. If you've strayed away for whatever reason and you feel God calling you back for whatever reason, come open and willing to accept Jesus back in your heart so that you can live the life that you were meant to live. God bless you all and have an amazing rest of your day.